Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you wanted to listen to that show, the Diary Room WMSC on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, you are in luck. You are tuned in just in time for what could be your favorite Big Brother commentary show. Thank you so much for tuning in, especially all these weeks after the finale of BB27. But we are not over it. We are not done.
Not even close.
Got more to discuss. Who are we? I am one of your hosts. I am Emily Emol McCormack, joined by my lovely co-host.
My name is just Chris, and I am also stuck in the diary room right here with Mole every week. Not quite, because we weren't here last week. But
production let us out of our cage.
Yeah, they let us out of our cage
Have a
because
sandwich.
The season ended. And now everybody's back to normal, but we had to come back to the diary room.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't just leave this place idle.
No. No, we could not. We are back. We are sat. And we had some unfinished business a couple weeks ago.
Quite.
The Big Brother season 27 finale was 2 weeks ago. It was massive. And here we are on the 15th of October to continue discussing the events of the finale. Now, I admit I'm a little unprepared. I don't even remember where we left off. We kind of speed ran at some point.
We started speed running at the start of when we were talking about the jury.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was right around that same time. We never really got to talk. We didn't get to talk about the questionnaire.
Oh my goodness.
We didn't talk about the questions that the characters, the house guests.
Oh, they are characters.
Yes, they are
certain.
characters. You're right. But yeah, no, we got through the HOH competition, and then we, like, right as we were about to talk about the jury and like them picking the winner, we had to start speeding it up. So we did leave a lot on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Most notably, the jury round table.
His table, it's so full.
So much table.
so much table.
So much stuff on table.
And that just goes to show you how jam-packed the final week of the season was, considering we have a 2-hour show and we couldn't even get through it all. So don't worry, we've got a little less than 2 hours ahead of us. Maybe, just maybe, we could get through the tail end of the finale episode. But that's also thanks to the last week being such a fast-paced week. With all, like, there's so many people left.
So much
in like 7 days left of the season. Just to recap a little bit again where we are. So we're about to talk about the jury section of the finale episode. So at this point, there was already HOH Part 1 that was won by Morgan, and HOH Part 2 that was won by Ashley and made for a very, very sad Vince what is new. And are we into the Cody jury part?
Yes. Literally at this point, like, we finished the HOH competition. We yapped about Vince's blunder very extensively.
And me watching the live feeds to him just sulking.
Mm-hmm. And we
Alas.
had 15 minutes to cover the very end. So
well, now we get into jury, where my note says Cody hosts for some reason. Oh yeah, and then now I remember. It's all coming back to me.
No,
where I was like,
go.
okay, Cody. Like they showed this section of the episode so quickly that whether you like Cody or not, there is quite literally not enough about him that happened to critique, to like say, oh, this was good or this was not good, because it just was such a quick section of the episode. I don't know. I'm pretty neutral on like Cody as host, because I think he just really read prompts. Whereas maybe another host could have like made it more engaging, but I don't know what he had to work with. Whatever. I know the rumor is that every year the jury roundtable host is going to change. So if you really liked Cody, I'm sorry. And if you really didn't like Cody, then you're in luck, because there's going to be someone. What are your thoughts
on Cody?
Yeah.
Or just the round table in general?
Well, I guess him doing the round table.
Not exactly. I mean, he's just, I don't normally enjoy his archetype of player. Keanu was like an interesting spin on it. I wouldn't necessarily say that Keanu is the same archetype of player, but they definitely have overlapping attributes.
Yeah.
Notably like a physical presence, but I wouldn't say that they played the same game by any stretch of the means. Because with Cody, he was like locked in with Derek the whole time, basically. So with his interesting, not very unique and extremely played out and kind of stale strategy, and he lost. He was the runner-up.
Yeah.
So he kind of like he was a notable player, but he's kind of just a pretty face, I guess, is the best way to put it.
I remember him for his ripped leggings and the cardigan.
Yeah.
And but he did redeem himself in season 22.
Yeah. Oh wait, did he didn't.
Didn't he win?
Did he win?
Am I making that? No, he won.
He won, right?
Some people like to forget that season, though.
Because it's like, yes, okay, he won, but he was...
We remember 16.
The 22 was...
Nothing was real in 2020. LOL.
Yeah. I mean, the entire cast was kind of a massive flop, to be honest. Like, you had some standout people. You had Devon come back. That was cool. You had Tyler. I like Tyler a lot. I'm looking at the full Ian also came back. But like everybody else, I don't really feel any ways about them. Like they all just kind of exist. Yeah.
So unfortunately for Cody, known for being runner-up and then forgotten as winner of 22.
Yep. And there's his legacy.
Alas. But honestly, again, like what he did, like in this roundtable, he was fine. He got the job done. It was okay. I am glad that it's rotating, just in the sense of I want to see someone else, see if we can give it a little bit. That sounded so rude. I want to see a little bit more pizzazz. Hopefully we could get that next time. But he was fine. He was fine.
He did his job, and that's the important part.
Exactly. And so we get to the actual meat of the jury roundtable, and it's not just the host. It is the jury themselves. And what do they talk about? The first note I had was just that they praise Morgan. It sounds like at this stage in the game, they're very much recognizing that Morgan has been one of the players of all time.
Yeah.
And
yes, period.
And they recognize she's been playing strategically the entire game. Pretty good social game as well. And it was really in this like second half of the game that she's really been dominating competitions, especially the veto comps. She's won how many in a row at this point, and they don't even know about part one, that she has another win under her belt. So it sounds pretty much to me like the entire jury's just like, yes.
If she's in final two, she's winning the game.
That is basically what they said.
That was the consensus.
And they, of course, they go through all three of the remaining players. Again, it's Morgan, Vince, and Ashley at this point. And so
hey.
The diary room has been breached.
Production for real. Production real is here.
Production real. And sorry. If you're watching us on YouTube, production has made it into the video. So when I have the note for Morgan, basically all I have is they praise Morgan. The other ones is a little bit more of notes of, oh, well, this person did great at this, or this person did poorly in this aspect. I don't remember anything else specifically about them talking about Morgan. I don't remember any negativity.
They didn't say anything negative about
I don't
Morgan.
think there is anything.
There isn't anything to say negative about Morgan, to be honest.
A couple weeks ago, maybe, before she had all those wins.
But yeah, like that's just gameplay at that point. It was I wouldn't say strategic because we didn't know how well she would be able to cash out on all those wins, but like in terms of payoff, I guess it was very calculated, unintentionally is a very important point to make. It was unintentionally calculated.
I think, though, some of that is due to her just being that good.
And also Vince.
And Vince.
Who
ultimately was her downfall. And that I can't wait to unpack again. The old wound, it's open.
We're talking
it's
about
open
it again.
And I don't care.
Yep. And that's okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much it on Morgan. I get the vibe of so long as she is in those final two chairs, there's very little that's going to sway this jury. Now, Cody asks if the jury thinks that Vince is playing a good game. And, like, people are saying yes.
Because he did.
He played a game.
If you observe it from a purely objective standpoint, he made it to the end. He did it.
He cried his way up.
That's the goal.
I mean, okay, to credit him, it's not that he just cried his way up there. He manipulated people.
Yes.
It was strategy.
It was very strategy.
And he won more head of households than anyone else in the house by far. I'm pretty sure.
Close to the all-time record.
Oh, really? What was the all-time record?
I would assume that it would be.
Because I think how many did he end up with? 4?
Like 4 or 5.
Let me consult our own account.
Okay, so single season is 6. So he was close.
He landed on 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he was very close.
Well,
Chelsea also had 4.
Okay.
4 seems to be the consensus.
Who was 6?
For Felix from season. I wonder what season that was, or is this?
Is that U.S.?
I wonder if that was U.S.
Interesting.
That's the AI over.
Oh.
It's so inaccurate. It literally just take me to like a Reddit post or something.
I trust Reddit way more than the AI overview.
And I do, and I will say that with my full chest. Dot it and sign it. Because it's true. USA. I have to specify USA. Paul.
Is that across 2 seasons though?
I would assume so. Yeah. HOH records. In terms of HOH records, Chelsea won 4.
Because then the wiki says
it's very
Frankie,
rare.
But
okay.
Season 16, when Frankie was on, was also dual HOHs.
Yes.
So, Welp. Regardless. The runner-up for this season, I suppose, is equal Morgan and Lauren, who each won 2. So the difference between 4 and 2 isn't that much, but in this game, it's by far the most amount of head of household wins. So point is I'm not trying to discredit Vince. I don't like the way that he went about manipulating people because it just was kind of sad. I don't know. I feel like it's just please, I've wanted to be here for so long and I'm trying my best and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, a lot of other people were doing the same thing. So his social game, I feel, wasn't very strong because he burned so many bridges and just had to cross his fingers that it wasn't going to bite him in the end. And LOL, it did. So whatever. Basically everyone's saying that he's playing a good game. I don't know if I would agree at this stage. At the end of it, I don't. He played a fine game. He played a game. I will not say he played a bad game, but I'm not going to say that he played a good one because of how many final 2s he made and then forgot about. He played a very messy game.
He did.
But he played well. And he won, and that's great.
Won. And also, to go back to the point that we were making really quickly, just to solidify it a little more, 4 HOHs is so it's kind of in percentiles.
Okay.
There's been nobody who has won more than 4 in a single season.
Okay.
Rachel and Janelle have 6 because of their second seasons.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, but everyone else, Mike, Dan, Ian, Derek, Frankie had 4 HOH wins as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yes, she's up there in the top percentile of play, or he's up there, Vince, in the top percentage of house guests who have 4 HOH wins.
So point is, will not discredit him on that. Then he is amongst the greats then of HOH wins. So as far as comp wins, fantastic. As far as social goes, somehow much better than he was. And his strategy was just really bad, in my opinion. He just like burned people left and right and just hoped that it was okay. And I guess to some extent it must have been, at least to the jury who has no idea who's going to be in those final 2 chairs, when they say he played a good game. Kelly points out he is always lying or crying, which is the heart of his game. She clocked him immediately. Yes. And then I believe it was Will who made a comment that I shan't repeat, but he basically just upset so many people that his game was a mess at this point. And so there's a little bit more of a varying opinion on Vince's game. Was it really good? You know, and that's kind of what I got. But again, they had to discuss Vince. Do you have anything left on Vince before?
No, we can move on to Ashley. I mean, regardless, Vince played a game of all time and has one of the most... he is a record holder in any shape of the phrase. In one shape of the phrase, I guess.
And yet, unfortunately, I will remember him for the cheat mance more than anything else. Mm-hmm. And so moving on from the cheat mance, we move on to the jury's opinion of Ashley. And this was a very important topic to me.
Me too.
That Will ruined Ashley's secret that she is a lawyer. She specifically told Will and Rachel in the house about her occupation. She kept it hidden from everybody else, and she asked Will to keep it a secret from the rest of the jury, so that could be a really big surprising thing that she reveals at the very end in the final 2 chairs. In my opinion, I think this was one of the best things that could have happened for her. I think that revealing that information at the end in front of a jury that's pretty much already made their mind up would not help her in the slightest. I think people would maybe think about it a little bit more, but I ultimately think when they sit down, they have their minds made up. Also, interesting to note, like kind of interesting side rant, that as the second season ever to have the BB blockbuster and the first season to have it go on for so long, this cast is used to this type of voting more than any other cast ever, where the jury sits down and they're like, okay, if in the event that it's between these 2 people and this person wins the blockbuster, then we choose this person and this and this. And it was like the same where whoever, instead of who wins the blockbuster, it's whoever loses the final HOH determines who the 2 people on the block are. So they are so used to these scenarios of, oh, if it's between this person and this person, we go with this. And they have to think of like 3 different scenarios. So they're so used to this the entire season. What's another time? And they do it
person scenario.
They're like, please, we just want to choose between 2 people. But so in weighing their options for as much time as they did, as much time as they were hanging out in the jury house and here talking to Cody, I honestly think in the end, while Ashley was a little disappointed, I think it was a really good move for Will to tell everyone. They could kind of stew on it. Like, oh, I thought that Ashley was silly and dumb. Turns out she is silly and smart. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think that revealing, I mean, everybody kind of got like shooketh, and I don't remember if anybody was like, because I mean you note here that you say ruined, and I'm not sure if that indicates that there was expression from the house guests that it was sort of like supposed to be a secret or something. I think I remember some kind of conversation about that. But I mean, I agree with you when you say that it was just, it's something nice to reveal, because it really boosts her resume, seeing that she was able to come in and deceive everyone and basically make people think that she wasn't as intelligent as she was fronting. But yeah, no, I think that her gameplay was very calculated, especially after the ending, because we did get that.
Yeah.
We can skip over the HOH parts. We talked about that.
Oh yeah,
quite extensively. And
so, sorry, I got distracted by a friend in the hallway. Hello, friend in the hallway. I'm gonna be knocking on that door later. And so, oh yeah, so I just wrote ruined the secret because she wanted it to stay a secret.
Yeah.
And I got so distracted by the friend in the hallway. We have a clear diary room door in here. And LOL. So yeah, it was ruined just because she wanted to keep it a secret. I think especially, no offense, some offense to Keanu, someone like Keanu needs to stew on the fact that she was strategic when he was just kind of living this whole season thinking, oh, she's just kind of dumb and just like says things for whatever, and it needs to be pointed out to him that this was strategic. You were fooled. Many were fooled. That's how it is. And the reaction that we got was particularly from Ava, because I believe Ava just joined the group at this point, so she hasn't really interacted with them as much. It seems like the people who were in the jury for a little bit at this point probably knew. Like, they've been discussing it, which is good because Will and Rachel are very much Team Ashley, and that's no surprise to anybody inside the house, in the jury, and they're trying to point out like, hey guys, like, she was actually pretty good this whole time. And very quickly Ava latches onto that, and she's like, recognizes that Ashley did a really great strategic and social game by aligning herself with people purposefully, and she's not stupid, not like in the slightest. Like, she's actually has it like put together more than majority of the people that were in this cast.
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of, I agree that it was most likely strategic. I just think that there was I think that the disconnect came in the form of Ashley's lack of game outside of social. Because you can say that it was all strategic, and the outcome has came, but if she wasn't able to prove herself in that final moment, then what does she have to say for herself? I won nothing, and I like I think it only worked because she was able to execute in the end, and for that, massive flowers, massive move taken, because all it takes is one move. Vince pissed off the house. Ashley is in good standing with everyone on the jury. The majority of the people on the jury, she's in better standing than Vince is by a significant margin.
Yeah.
And she's the one who gets to make the decision, which is how she was able to carry herself to the win.
Yeah. I think it is definitely a combination of all this and a select number of jury members understanding this to get in the brains of the others that really helped her in the end. Because again, like we said, at this point, the consensus just sounds like Morgan's winning. Without saying it, obviously, because they're trying to keep it interesting. Yeah. And I mean, we'll get to the production aspect of it later, I suppose, but it's really interesting because at this point, I feel like they're trying desperately to push for a possible outcome that maybe Ashley or Vince could win, considering Morgan's just the front runner. And I don't know. I'll get to the whole edit in a little bit too, because I mean, I have my criticisms as much as anyone else, and definitely as Ashley. So they're trying to push that the best that they possibly can, and I think that's about it that I remember from the jury roundtable. I mean, I guess the only other silly thing is we heard Lauren talk. She didn't sound terrified. I want to see her on something where she's like comfortable. Like, she seems like such a cutie, such a sweet person, and like we don't get to see much of Lauren, and I feel like she probably didn't say anything, and they're like, okay, Lauren, your turn. And then she's like, okay,
Hey, I have to speak now.
I must speak now. Her voting in the end, where she's like, hi guys.
I'm voting for the person that I think should win, and then I'm putting my key in now.
It was actually so cutie. I get her. I feel you, Lauren. So that's the end of the jury roundtable.
Yes.
We
And we already discussed pretty extensively the part 2. We had the whole tangent about Vince's breakdown. We also did not mention anything about Frankie hosting or any of the unmasking. So I guess we can talk about that right now.
Let's do it.
What were your thoughts on the storyline? Because now we have storylines in Big Brother, which it's been cool. I liked last year. I thought it was cool this year. I didn't know what they did in 25. I'm pretty sure there was one though, right? Was there like a pseudo storyline?
What's
Jag, Cameron.
Oh my God! That was
like
with
the
the Nether.
multiverse, right?
They had the Nether
Nether.
region.
The Nether. Wait, why
Was
did
that-
I just sound like Jag perfectly?
This is a crafting table. They had the only thing I remember is the Nether region, and we're like, why did they do that? Why they call it that? And the have not room where they had to kick themselves in the butt every time they exited the room.
I remember that.
It was the multiverse, and that is pretty much all I remember about it. I know this season, it was interesting. The house, the decor of Hotel Mystere was one of the best houses that I've seen. And if anyone isn't familiar, is it pronounced Athanamel? Athanamel?
What?
Something of the sort. Well, decently popular, like a Big Brother YouTuber person who basically went through every house of BBUS, and I can confirm this is the prettiest house that they've ever had. It is in my opinion. I think in his it was pretty high up there as well. It's so gorgeous. They did a great job. The storyline did not live up to the standard in my opinion. Definitely not the upstairs diary room. I'm still pressed about it. Please do better next time, Big Brother. But this whole mastermind thing was very strange because he was just kind of there in the beginning and then took a week off, and then he was there and then he's gone. And now he's back. At least with BB26 with the AI theme, was it a little cringe at times? Sure. But at least Ainsley was pretty much there the whole time. They at least had her box in the living room, so they were always reminded. Then we had Nun Ainsley enter Janky and Live, Laugh, Love Janky. Love the little guys. This season, it was just kind of inconsistent where they just kind of forget about the storyline at some point because it does distract from the actual gameplay and the social, the strategy, all that stuff, which I understand. It must be weird to balance it.
I think it was. I have opposing thoughts, to be honest.
Okay.
I think that they wanted it to feel uncertain. Which is why he kind of just disappeared and reappeared so snappily. I think they did a pretty good job at it. I mean, I'm trying to remember the stretch of season from like, I guess week like 2 or 3 after he initially stopped tormenting them until whenever he showed back up again to like White Lotus. That's when I actually started like knowing, like, you know what I mean? White Lotus is when he like came back, and then it was like right before finale, and it was like 4 weeks straight of straight storyline. But like what happened in between after the accomplice thing, and the stuff in the beginning and then in between, I don't really remember.
That's the thing. I don't really remember him really being brought up. Maybe that's just my memory, because it was like I remember weird small details, and then the middle of it's just kind of a blur at some point. I don't remember him being brought up much at all. Where, like, I know we were in the middle of the month of mayhem when they did something like the veto comp in the double was just like mastermind themed, where they had to like find him, like, where's Waldo, but where's Mastermind kind of thing, where like I don't remember having little bits like that.
Okay, now it's all coming back to me.
And if it happened, clearly it's not memorable.
It did happen. Yes. He was the subject of like every single competition. Mm-hmm. So that, I guess that's what it was. Like, he wasn't supposed to be like fully integrated into the house because he was like the criminal. So like, he's not like the whole Ainsley thing was like because she took over the house. Yeah. So like with the mastermind, he's doing stuff in the background, and like they're doing like the crime scene type competitions, like the one where they had to roll the thing. Like that was themed after him. It was like something that he did. So I guess it was all external. Okay. And everything happened on the outside until he started getting involved with the house directly, like with the White Locust and stuff like that.
I'll allow it.
There we go.
I'll allow it.
And I think now that we think about it, like, they definitely could have made it a little more memorable. Yeah. They could have had more events in the house throughout that stretch of time instead of just, but I guess with the gameplay and stuff, you kind of have to pick and choose your battles.
I mean, it's not the most important part of Big Brother.
Exactly.
And so I think that if they're going to commit to a storyline, either a little more, a little less, it was just kind of weird where like, oh yeah, this thing. But it was fine. Like, I'm not.
It's nice to have a flavor. It
there
helps.
Was a little
it helps
flavor.
The season have like an identity to it.
Add some seasoning.
I like that. Some seasoning.
Seasoning to the season. But
seasoned up. I'm a seasoned Big Brother veteran, and I'm seasoning my season on my chicken, and I'm seasoning this $750,000 because I'm so happy to be the next Big Brother winner. No, I'm not. I wish I would be though. But
I think we should both apply. Can you apply
next year
for the next season, or you could apply in a year from now?
Wait a minute. I think you have to be 21 at the start of the season, so I wouldn't be able to apply until next season because my birthday is during the season. It's in the middle of the season.
Maybe if you ask nicely.
Like, low key. I wonder if that's a stipulation on the rules. Like, do you have to be... Can you turn 21?
Well, because they've... Okay, Big Brother, if you're listening, we could be the co-host twist. And they allowed when Evil Dick, which I could say that's his name.
You have to be 21 by the start date.
But his daughter was 19.
Well,
and that was years ago. And they were a twist. We could be a twist. We are called the co-host twist.
Yeah.
I would never be able to hide the fact that I know you.
No, like me neither, bro. That's not possible.
Impossible.
It's not possible.
But what is also impossible is for me to stay on track. So we'll get back to it.
Right.
So we brought this up because we already talked extensively about HOH Part 2, where, to summarize, Ashley wins this and Vince crashes hard. But we bring this up because Frankie Grande is hosting the competition, and he's fun, and I love that Morgan and him are like clinging on to each other when they realize that Ashley and Vince both have the instructions wrong in this comp.
I don't understand how they did that. Like, my brain did not think. I thought what the solution was, and I was like, what is going on?
I have to admit, I thought similarly to them.
The wording could have been better, but
yes,
I don't know how we got so far off course.
I think they were just so distracted by the fact that all you have time for in the end game is sitting there and and
Counting
not practicing.
the days.
What is the rehearsing the days?
Revising.
Studying.
Revising is the British word for it, so
British
word.
No, I forgot the word again. Study. I almost said rehearse again. But all they have time for is studying the days of which things occurred, because Big Brother fans know that that's something that happens in the end game. The funny thing is, though, is it already happened in the competition the week before, days before, where they moved the little like domino looking things, and so that's already over. And I think I would like to think if I was in that spot, I think I would also misunderstand the rules, but I'd like to think that I would reread the question a little bit sooner.
Exactly.
After I got all those dates in and I was really convinced that these are correct, clearly I'm misunderstanding something. So luckily Ashley did, because I don't know if Vince ever
He never considered it. I was waiting for him to consider it.
Nothing.
And I distinctly remember thinking how much of a
womp
womp
womp womp.
And yeah, I guess that's the end of that segment. But
so
back.
we have Frankie there clinging on to Morgan while they're like, "Oh my God, it's the order, not the day."
We already talked about this.
Apparently, we were supposed to notice like a pin on him, or something.
Oh yeah, the unmasking. Okay, I wasn't sure if we were gonna do like an intro to that.
Oh,
no.
We'll get into that.
We're just going straight.
Because we also have Dr. Will.
Yes.
Who was taken away by the police, who said,
he was a suspect.
I'm being framed. Lies. And we're like, oh, hi, Dr. Will. Bye, Dr. Will. Like casually, like just a legend of all time, Big Brother. Just like, oh, hi, goodbye.
They bring him back every season. It's always like, oh, okay, like there's Dr. Will. Like,
hello, sir.
He was doing the round table, and then they would. I don't remember what they used in previous seasons. I mean, I'm pretty sure he just stopped doing it. So we're just so used to seeing him from those round tables.
Exactly. I think last season was the first season that he didn't host it.
Yeah.
So we're just like, oh, hey, legend.
Hey,
what's
didn't
up?
know you would be back. Was he there last year?
Not that I remember.
Maybe he was in like the audience or something.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But he's there, but he claims he's framed. And the house guests after this comp talk for a couple days, enough on the live feeds where we find out that the mastermind is Dr. Will. Or so we thought. So in this finale episode, I'm forgetting the exact order which this happened, but I don't care. Let's just talk about the masterminds.
Yes.
There's multiple?
Yes, there is multiple.
And so we cut to the mastermind's sanctum?
Yes.
Not the lair.
The sanctum.
The sanctum that looks really familiar to the have-not room. I wonder why. And who was the first unveiled?
It was a bunch of irrelevant house guests. And
to put it nicely, I'm sorry for using that word, but a bunch of house guests that got out super quickly, but unfairly was the important part. So I should not have used the word irrelevant. I should have used wrongfully evicted or unfairly evicted house guests. Specifically, I think one of the names was Frank, was it? Someone that got out, someone that Dr. Will evicted quite early on in his the first
season.
mastermind was Jesse.
From what season was that from?
I don't remember.
Exactly.
But I remember he's Mr. Spectacular.
Oh, yes. Now I remember. Okay, that was...
They kept bringing him back for a lot of seasons.
Yeah, he just...
Oh my God,
he
was there.
Random character.
He was there in season 22, and I only remember it because that was the COVID season where they introduced the balcony of the outdoors, and they just had him up there.
Yes.
Like he hosted a competition.
I remember that specific. Frankie, Jesse, and Eric Stein.
I'm trying to figure out.
Mr. Spectacular.
What season was he on?
Eric? Or
Mr.
or
Spectacular.
Jesse? Jesse was on season...
The picture that comes up when I look up his name is amazing. 10?
10 and 11.
Season 10
and season
and 11. And then
Frankie.
Frankie was 16.
Frankie was 16.
And then appearances on many other seasons.
Eric was the third one. And he was from 8. Season 8.
And so these are all names that I recognize. Of course, I've seen Mr. Pectacular in many of his appearances. I really locked into Big Brother around season 16, so obviously I know Frankie. And I actually met Frankie that year after he got out of the house. He was in Rock of Ages, and I went to see it, and I met him, and he was so super cool. Very nice. And then Eric Stein is a name that I know, but I have to say I wasn't like super familiar because I really started like low-key watching around season 11 and 12. So that's why I wasn't as familiar with him. But like you said, it's important to note that all these people essentially were booted from the game unfairly. There was twists involved. It was different for
Eric
each of
was
them.
the first. He was America's player, and they basically drove him into the dirt.
Yeah.
That's what I was reading. Frankie, the whole thing with Zach.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like something involving 3 people, some kind of trio twist for Mr. Pectacular, Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
But those were the masterminds, and they all had distinct pins. That was that was supposed to be like, that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Before, how they all had their own pin.
There were like clues the whole time that were so small. we really needed 21 Pilots fans on the case. And I am not a good example of one.
I don't know anything.
The
I just
cookies
know
would have
there's
figured it
lore.
out.
I know there's lore, and I know it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, either them. Who else? We got, like, K-pop fans.
Yeah. Next season, we need to get all the K-pop fans and the clickies on Big Brother just to see if anything's up. Because the entire time, each mastermind had a different mask that was slightly varying. And I never noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm decently locked into the show. I think the other thing is that we really only saw the mastermind on the episodes when the live feeds were, like, live feeds would cut when the mastermind was on screen or anything of the sort. So truthfully, when the episodes are on, I'm partially paying attention because for the most part, I already know what's going on. So I didn't notice, and I didn't hear any mention of it. Again, I'm on Twitter. We are on Instagram at thediaryroom.wmsc. We yap about this constantly, and nobody really noticed. Was it interesting in the end that there were multiple? Sure, just because I had no clue. They kept it. It was right under our noses the whole time. There was a poster that said specifically something relating to all the 3 masterminds. I don't remember what it said. Did it say like the disadvantages?
Yes, coup d'etat, which was the thing that
was that Jesse?
Jesse, that was Jesse's twist, and then America's player for Eric, and then rewind. was for Frankie, and their mask differences. I'm looking at a picture right now.
Good.
Jesse's was like, it was like a clock with a lock in the middle, and it was the keyhole was orientated properly.
Mm-hmm.
And then Frankie's was, the lock was upside down, and it looks like Eric's was like not very different from Jesse's. I think it might have been the clock or his mask is cracked on the opposite side.
Okay.
So there's like a crack on the left eye.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Okay.
I don't know if you're looking at, but
no, I can't.
yeah.
But I could picture it because they show them side by side. To which I just went, oh.
So I'm showing this in studio.
I am now staring upon the masterminds.
This is the lock.
Uh-huh.
On that one, right eye crack or left eye crack.
Yes.
Upside down lock, left eye crack. Same lock as Jesse's right eye crack.
I see. So that is not
Those
something
are the
that I
differences.
noticed throughout the season.
Neither did I.
Almost nobody
but they're
did.
very noticeable when you actually know, which
I
is
felt like a
so
fool.
crazy. I feel like a fool.
A fool for not noticing. But again, I didn't stare at the screen when the episodes were on, truthfully. I was locked into BB Twitter and nobody else pointed that out. So it was like, okay, cool, you got us. You know, I feel like that was actually, it was kind of cool that there was a mystery to us the whole time too.
Yes.
And the reveal was interesting. And I was pretty disappointed by the payoff because I thought maybe this meant they would announce something like, oh, next summer there's going to be a season of non-winners that were betrayed by the game, or in the winter they were going to do like a Reindeer Games-esque kind of thing, but full of these players. And maybe in the same way that they did Reindeer Games in 2023, they brought Cameron, who was America's favorite, not mine, but I digress. They immediately brought him into Reindeer Games, maybe because he was America's favorite. Whereas if the twist was whoever was eliminated from the White Locust twist would end up being on this winter show, I think that Rachel really just wants to be home with her children at this point. But if that was the twist and then the person went home and they're like, oh, so surprise, you're on the winter show. I thought there was going to be something like that really paid off, and there really wasn't. Like, even they introduced Reindeer Games at the start of season 25 with the multiverse. They had Frankie and who else was it? Danielle and Brittany were doing like this Christmas thing in like July, and we're like, oh, we'll get back to that later. And in the end they did, and there was the payoff. There wasn't a lot of payoff, though. I was happy to see Frankie because I'm just a fan of Frankie. Seeing Mr. Spectacular again, it's like, oh yeah, he's back, yay! And then Eric Stein, I'm again not as familiar with, but I recognize the name. Yeah. I recognize the significance, and it really gave a lot to the fans who've been watching for a long time. And I'll say that's no fault of my own. Again, in season 8, I was probably like 5.
Yeah.
So you can't blame me.
Fault
5 or like 4. Like, what year was season 8? Because I think around season 9 or 10, that's when they started doing multiple BB US season 8.
They started doing multiple what?
That was 2007. I think season 9 was in the winter. So really? That's when it started. Yeah, that was in February of 2008. They very rarely did it, but so season 8 was like regular, like during.
So that's why there isn't now. I've always wondered why the amount of years Big Brother has been on air doesn't match up with the amount of seasons that have been in the game.
That's it.
And that has driven me crazy, and I haven't thought to look at it, but every time I think about it, I always I get so confused because there's 2 more seasons, right? Mm-hmm. There's 2 more seasons than there are years that have Big Brother has been running for.
Yeah. So yeah, season 9 is where things started going awry. Oh, my phone is like,
now your phone's going awry.
Please stop pressing so many buttons right now. Please. Anyway. Emo phone go burr. So. Shout out all my dogs.
Shout out all my unfairly evicted players.
Yes.
At the crib.
So at least they had their time to shine. What is kind of frustrating though, it's like Big Brother is addressing the fact that these house guests were at a disadvantage and they were wrongfully kicked out of the house in some capacity. And you know what they did? They made it worse in the White Locust twist. They're like, at least these people were at a disadvantage and their social game or their strategic game tanked because of a twist. You know what would be better? If we just ripped someone from the game because they can't do a Mario Kart mini game. And that's exactly what they did. So even Rachel afterwards was like, guys, what's up with that? Like, why did you do the same thing but worse to me? But overall, she's a good sport about it. We are getting to the end of our first hour, so we're going to take a deep breath, decompress from all this yapping about the mastermind. We finally bring that to a close, but we still get to talk about the jury questioning their reaction to the final two and overall thoughts and how we witnessed the absolute demise of Vince. So stick around. We have much more Big Brother to talk about on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is the Diary Room. Stay tuned. The Diary Room.
The Diary Room.
WMSC.
90.3 WMSC. Diary Room.
That's what you're tuned into. This is the Diary Room, WMSC, on 90.3 WMSC. Upper Montclair. And I'm losing my marbles.
How many times can we say that?
I took a really good swig of my coffee, and now I'm so energized.
I'm booted up.
I'm up.
I'm booted up.
I'm booted up. And I'm still Emol, and this is still just Chris.
And we're still in the Diary Room.
We're still in the Diary Room. We are, yes, weeks later, still talking about the season finale of Big Brother, season 27.
My favorite number.
Your favorite number.
This is my season 26 for Lee. 27,
Oh yeah.
27 is my number. I claim it.
I'll think about which one I'll claim. I'd have to think about that. I'll ponder for a little bit. But we are still talking about the finale. We just got through part 1, part 2, HOH happened. We talked about the jury. We talked about unmasking the mastermind. And now we're moving on.
Unmasking the mastermind.
And so, part 3, I believe, is the next thing that we'll get to. And we kind of talked about it a bit on our last episode. I think? You look at me like we did not. About the part 3 of HOH?
Yes, we did. It's the same old.
So,
that's what we said about it.
Yeah.
Same exact. Because we were rushing through it, but I mean, we don't really need to beat the horse.
I will beat the horse.
You know what I mean?
I will beat it for one reason.
Horse.
Because.
Oh. Well, we also talked
Vince.
about. Okay. I was gonna say we did talk about Morgan getting embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashley demolishing.
Yep.
So what were we? I want to hear what you have to say about Vince.
Yeah. So this part 3, it, like you said, it's the same old. We have the two people just answering questions, A or B.
A, B, or C.
Or C. And for some reason they named it BBPD, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But so we didn't get the scales of justice, which I'm disappointed about. Whatever. I love when they do that, when they go in the backyard and they lift them up or put them down, whatever. So essentially, Morgan flopped so hard that at some point there were X amount of questions that Julie was going to ask them. Or they played the clips from the jury in they filmed it in the most echoey room they could find in the jury house. And they had X amount of questions lined up. And at some point, Ashley was doing so well and Morgan was crashing and burning so hard that they didn't even get through all the questions because there was no chance of her catching up to Ashley. Yes. Which is equal parts impressive on Ashley's part.
Mm-hmm.
And shows how evil Vince is.
And shows how yes, because it is Vince's fault. Actually, I'm not gonna say that it's a little embarrassing for Morgan because, I mean, had she gotten the time to
Yeah.
Essentially,
Essentially, how I view this, which is is similar to what I believe Chris is saying, is that Ashley was so locked in because she just was, and she got a great night's sleep. Sure, she made herself a lovely breakfast in the morning. And what did Morgan have to deal with? Vince, who was sulking, and you're not gonna bring me to the final 3, and I did this for no reason, and me, and that's what he sounded like. And
you messed up, buddy.
Basically,
You messed up a lot.
he was sulking, and she had to she kept consoling him. She didn't have to. I think it's also because she's just a nice person.
Yes.
That's her friend, and he just can't get over the fact that he is a little crybaby at this point. Respectfully, again, I'm talking about a character in the game. And so I genuinely think that the fact that Vince kept Morgan up all night for so many nights, I don't think they slept at all. I think they were both exhausted. He clearly wasn't in his right mind when he did that last comp anyway, and then kept her up, and she was probably exhausted. And I think that's the only reason why a competition beast ends up flopping so hard in the final moments where it matters the most.
Yes.
Also, it has to be
not clear.
No, not at all. It was mush. It was mush because Vince took it out of her brain and mush it out. And that obvious, I maybe not obviously, but I don't think that was his intention.
No, not at all. I'm sure it wasn't, but it was an unintended consequence.
Yes.
Most definitely.
And I think at this point, though, he does recognize that there's a chance that Morgan doesn't take him. And so he was trying to push for himself so hard that he ended up sabotaging her, which in the end kind of worked out for him because I don't think Morgan would have actually taken Vince to the end. I think Ashley got into her head enough that she may have convinced her that between Morgan and Vince, it was 50-50, but between Morgan and Ashley, that Morgan definitely wins. Because that's true, but the 50-50 between Vince and Morgan was not true. But I think Ashley did a good job of convincing Morgan. Like, in interviews after the season, she said that she was probably going to bring Ashley.
Yeah.
So, I guess
would have too.
Unintentionally sabotaging Morgan, propelling himself to the final 2, where otherwise he probably would have come in 3rd. Good for Vince, I guess. But that's a total accident. Like, he ended up going further because he just kept her up. That's what I'd like to think. Because she is so strong and so good at comps, and that one just flopped. And at the same time, Ashley was on her A game, whereas in other competitions, some of them she didn't have to win, so she maybe didn't try as hard. But it's not to say she didn't try in competitions all season, and she hasn't won anything since that very first veto. And she was so locked in, and it was glorious. And it is at this time that I was shook, particularly because of my draft picks, where my top 3 picks in order were Ashley, Vince, and Morgan. And I was thinking, Morgan is most likely going to win this game. Is there any shot that I picked the top 3 in order? And the only outcome where I picked them in order is if Ashley pulls off the final win. And somehow she did it. And she pulled off
crazy.
Such an epic move. Welcome back, Big Brother 17.
True.
And the amount of edits of Vanessa like in the background of Morgan's photo was like, it's so funny to me.
Oh my god.
And I know that your favorite season is 17.
I love season 17.
And it's been so long since I've seen it that I almost didn't remember exactly what
they're the exact
unfolded.
same player.
And
they're
it
the
brought me
same
back.
exact player. Vanessa has 4 HOH wins too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to, when I was going on my tangent about really good players and percentiles, Vanessa is also in the top percentile.
Yeah. The outcome of season 27 makes me want to rewatch 17.
I also feel like I could really get an enjoyment out of rewatching season 17.
Because when I watched the first time, I guess I was
Unexperienced with the game of Big Brother.
17 was what, 2015? I was 14? 13? I don't know. I didn't know what was happening. But I remember being very confused by the outcome. And I think if I had the same amount of knowledge of season 17 as a 13-year-old coming into season 27, then I would be just as confused about the Ashley win. So it was like, wow, welcome back. You know, it was like deja vu. But I mean, Vanessa is a very respected player, is one of the top best players to never win. And here we are yet again. And do I remember Steve's gameplay? Like, I know Ashley's not at all. It was 10 years ago. Again, I was but a child. But that is the best move that anybody could make, is not be a fool.
Yes.
And bring the person that you're going to win against and eliminate the person that you won't. Put that final thing in the resume, aka hit the final nail in the coffin for your opponent. And that's what Steve did. And that's what Ashley did. And I'm so proud of her because, and I know Mackenzie has come to terms with her decision from last season. And she really valued the friendship, the loyalty between her and Chelsea in the final 2 seats of last season of BB26. But Mackenzie 1000% would have won against Cam if she brought Cam to the end. And she decided against it. And whatever, I respect the loyalty, but also she came in second place. If you're there to win.
We're here for $750,000.
We are. She was not. I don't
care what anybody says about the standing. If you cannot, if I have a position of power in the game over you at the very end, and I can all but guarantee $750,000 real dollars before taxes.
Important to note.
If I can guarantee that, and you can't, you can't get on my side. Like, if I win final HOH, I tell you straight up, I want to win. We both want to win, but I beat you. And I'm taking this person with me because I will win against them.
Yeah.
And that person can't come to terms with that. I don't want to be friends with that person.
Yeah.
Because I would do the same. I would be 100% okay with that. Because I lost.
It's also hard for the house guest to remember. 3 months ago, you had no clue this person existed.
Exactly. And that too.
Yeah.
That as well. Like, if you go your separate ways, how does that affect your life? Like, yeah, you guys were friends, but if they're willing to throw a friendship away over a lot of money, that's kind of strange.
Yeah.
Or if they're willing to, if they're willing to throw a friendship away over because they would rather you be friendly instead of collect $750,000, I would want my friend to make $750,000.
Yeah. And again, like Mackenzie last season, and just I bring up last season just because it's the most fresh in my mind. She's come to terms with it. She's whatever. She's living her life. She's still with Matt, which is really interesting, but good for them. But Ashley came to win. She also isn't tied to Morgan or Vince like they were tied to one another. So it was a lot easier for her to look at it objectively. And the good thing is, like you brought up, like, what is the aftermath? How do you feel about this afterwards? It looked like almost immediately Morgan was just like, okay, like, you know, like, of course she's disappointed, but I think she, again, like the whole season they dealt with the blockbuster. You're going to have to take a deep breath and realize there are so many different outcomes, and if you win or lose, you tried your best. And I think that she handled it with class.
Yes.
And Vince would not have. I think we would have seen him cry yet again.
And I think that most of Morgan's ability to take the loss comes from her unique position as a game.
It comes into play.
That is a gamer attribute that I am confident that most definitely affected her ability to cope with this L.
She said, "Can I get an F in the chat?"
GG.
I'm a log out.
Next game.
No, but I mean, honestly, like, we're laughing, but like, yeah.
That's why I said it, because
fine.
I just like had that thought, and I was like,
it finally came into
wanted
play.
to turn it into a bit.
And she wanted this big reveal to tell everybody too in the final two. Imagine if she sat next to Ashley, and Ashley's like, "I am a lawyer, and I manipulated all of you." To which Morgan's like, "Actually, I'm a gamer.
I'm a streamer."
But yeah, I mean, it has its advantages. I mean, she definitely would have had that leg up if she was against Vince, who would have still said, "Yep, I'm unemployed." And that was just it. But yeah, she handled it with grace. She did a great job there, and she was prepared to go into the jury questioning. But before that, the reveal of Morgan joining the jury, from the reaction from the jury, shook. Absolutely shook. Rachel could not contain it. Ava's jaw to the floor, though it's hardly ever not to the floor because she's just been like that the whole time. They are so confused because based on this reaction, we immediately know that Morgan was gonna win. If she was in those final two chairs, it was going to be Morgan. Mm-hmm. And then Julie reveals that the reason Morgan is there is because Ashley won the final HOH. The like loudest squeal from Rachel Riley. She starts like crying, and excuse me. And so at some point she's like, "I'm so sorry, Morgan." Like she's like, because she's so over the moon for Ashley. We pretty much already know who wins.
Yeah.
But I say we. My household was expecting it. Live feeders were expecting it, and then you.
Did I text you about this? I don't remember if I texted. I think I know that I theory crafted this situation, either whether it be in my head or at some point prior to the finale, like the week before. Because like I like thinking about how less than stellar competitive or competition adverse players can win. Like with Cam. I remember I did a lot of how can Cam win the game now.
Shout out my dogs at the crib.
Shout out my dogs at the crib.
Shout out.
Same thing happened with Ashley, and she executed flawlessly. So kudos again, once again.
Yeah, sitting at this part where they just find out who's in the final two, I think pretty much she has it. She has the win in the bag. But then we go to jury questioning.
Questions.
And now my jaw on the ground, slaughtered.
Oh, gosh.
She gets her first question from Rachel. I'm pretty sure they went in jury order. And Rachel is so good. I love Rachel Riley. I don't care what anyone says. She is so good at this because she purposefully asks a super direct question to the person that she wants to win. It's clear that she is helping Ashley in saying, basically, explain your gameplay. And then Ashley, boom, boom, boom. She's just going, and she's so locked in. And it's like, okay, lawyer has arrived. And at the point that Julie Chen has to intervene and just go, thank you. Like, okay, we're pressed for time. Reminder, you get to talk at the end and plead your case, which is still hilarious. And then Ashley's like, oh, okay. And like, she's just like she could have gone on for hours.
Yeah.
She had so much, she rehearsed it. And I cannot imagine what it would have been like for somebody who just watches the show and doesn't engage in the social media aspect of it, doesn't watch live feeds, doesn't know, because she was so locked in and had so much to back herself up. But it was all strategy. It was all seemingly passive. It wasn't a big thrilling competition win. Her gameplay lacked so much in the show itself that there must have been so many people watching this going like, what is she going on about? Like, she's trying to skew something in one way, but it didn't really happen like that. Like, Vince has this in the bag, right? And it's like, oh, no, he does not. Because he, I would say, was to begin underprepared with a speech. Maybe he thought about it for a couple seconds, probably as long as he thought about that wardrobe for the day. And I'd like to think that he was so taken by surprise how locked in Ashley was that it threw him off even more.
Yeah.
Because people will say in 25 that a big reason why Jag won was because he was so good at his speech and Matt had no clue what to say. I think that Ashley had such a great game and knew exactly what to say that Vince and all his comp wins and his top HOH wins of like, if the top is 4 and he got 4, it's really impressive. It was for nothing because of how bad he flopped at the end and how great Ashley did.
Yeah, and I think to go back to your point about people being like confused by the outcome, I think that jury management is like a very I feel like people don't think about the social aspect of the game as important as to be as important as something like competition wins. But jury management is like literally the most important part of the game.
Yep.
It's definitely up there. If you had to make a list of all like the most important things to be good at, jury management is either 1 or 2 because you can't win the game if everyone hates you.
Yeah. Vince.
And it, like, whether you want to call it emotional voting or not, Vince's game did not reflect it wasn't well rounded. He won stuff.
Yeah.
But you need to be more than just winning. And if you make people upset in the process of your winning, then it's kind of all going to go for it doesn't matter.
And I think people will look at this, again, people who have no clue what Ashley's done, and they will say it was emotional voting. Or they'll say, oh, this was a bitter jury. He did what he did. Like, he lied to everyone. He burned all the bridges, and he just didn't. It's not necessarily that he didn't take that into consideration. He just didn't know how to approach it, if anything. And he just kept lying for no reason at some point. That, again, was just another aspect of his game in comparison to Ashley's. His was worse as far as jury management goes, with the addition of her being good. She had Rachel and she got Will, and then with them together would convince anyone who walks into the jury. I mean, it's no coincidence that the one person that didn't vote for her was the one person who didn't get to have conversations with everyone else. I don't know. I feel like there always would have been at least a sympathy vote from Morgan. But that's how you win in a landslide.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the go-to person that you think about when it comes to bitter jury / poor jury management is my beloved Paul.
Yes. But I was thinking the exact same thing. I can't believe you like did that. That's creepy.
I took it.
Because you literally reached inside of my head. Because I was thinking like bitter jury and justifiably angry jury are two very different things.
Yeah.
Paul got bitter juried. Vince was lying for no reason. Vince was burning bridges. Just like you said, he was doing a lot of unnecessarily shady stuff, and social game is just as much Big Brother as physical.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, it's a social experiment.
And it's very much shown in this season.
Yes.
Which
a lot more than usual.
And I'm happy about that as someone who will I apply for the show? I have no idea. And if I apply, would I ever get into it? Also have no idea. But I mean, I've always been anyone watches like a film and you're like, oh, what would I do in this setting? Like if it's like an apocalypse, it's like, would I survive? No, I wouldn't. But I think about the seasons of Big Brother and I'm like, would I be able to survive considering the circumstances? And for the most part, no, because I'm on that wall. I am beating the record for least amount of time up on that wall, which I think is like 3 minutes or something. I think I'm flopping like a minute tops. 2 minutes. Something like that. But it gives the underdog some hope, gives some hope for the thought that you don't have to win every competition and then you could still win in the end. And that's the whole, it is a social experiment.
Minute and 15 seconds.
She really? Oh my, then who was 3 minutes? Was that S2E? I feel like each season there's been a little bit shorter. They did decent this season, but don't worry, Big Brother, let me in.
This season was normal. We had normal competitions this season.
We did, but
last year, not normal at all.
Shout out Otev.
No, Otev, Wall.
Big Brother, do you want a really funny moment where someone lasts on the wall for a good 30 seconds? Oh boy, do I have the candidate for you. It's me. That's my pitch. Also, shout out to no hide and go veto this season. Which means they'll do it next season. Whatever. I don't even care. I'm so nonchalant. Anyway.
I didn't like it. I was going to say something about hide and go veto too as being a little like, because it was just so unnecessary.
I can't stand it.
Last year. It was, the solution was so simple. And nobody found Quinn's because it was literally at the front door. Nobody thought to check under the drawer. Don't even know how he figured that out. But
that's so funny. I kind of forgot about that.
That was where I remember so clearly him and that freaking table in front of the door, and he put it under the drawer, like inside.
I do
the
remember
top
that
of
now.
The drawer.
Yeah, I remember at some point this season, Lauren found out that there was a locked drawer that she could pick open. And she decided that would have been her hide and go veto spot. And I think it would have been a good spot, except for the fact that she told people about it. I'm like, girl,
why are you?
Girl, why would you? Shh.
I guess maybe it was like towards the end of the season when she just assumed that
they weren't gonna do it. But whatever. That's one of my least favorite comps. So
I wonder if they tell them. Do they ever like talk to production and be like
if a comp's gonna happen?
Yeah. Or like.
I doubt it.
I
feel
wonder
like
what goes on behind the scenes in terms of like production of competitions and stuff. Do they literally just send them out there?
I think so. I think so. Sometimes though, the house guests are really good at speculating what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like maybe they are locked out, or I guess locked in, and they can't use the backyard for X amount of hours. And they're like, okay, this is going to be a more complex competition because it's set up like this or whatever. Or if they make them dress a certain way. like if they have to dress more like for an endurance comp, like they'll probably warn them just about that. But so we were at jury questioning and somehow we got to hide and go veto, and I think that's just very much
kind of just talk. I mean, we've just been talking about Ashley's win so far.
But we didn't even get to her final speech.
Well, yeah,
it's the same. Like
it's the same. Yeah, but
Vince disintegrates. Like she just time and time again, she's answering half these jury questions. But important to note was that Morgan was also shook when she joined the jury. She was clearly prepared for a question meant for Ashley. And then she asked Julie if she could change the question. And Julie's like, I don't care. And so she changes the question to have it geared towards Vince in the same way that Rachel asked a question that was geared towards Ashley, hoping to give him the space to really talk his game through. And I think that was somewhat strong. He did a decent job. But Ashley, man, like, it was just like, and her line between her jury answers and her final speech, I don't remember which one it was a part of, but when she said that she was turning her enemies into allies and her opponent turned his allies into enemies, girl, that was incredible.
That's the perfect way to encapsulate my thoughts and why I think that she deserved it, and I think that Vince did not deserve it. Yeah. Because he was not managing his jury at all.
He was just doing things and crossing his fingers.
Exactly. He played such a reckless social game. And in a social game, even if you want to say that you think that competition should take priority, you can maybe say you want it to be like a 60-40 split in terms of consideration. Vince got a 0 on it.
Yeah.
He still got a 0. If you think of it in terms of test scores, Ashley had one competition win. She gets a 20. She gets some kind of pointature. Yeah. On her competition.
And
even if her social, she got 100 on her social, Vince gets the math is even at the end of the day, and the jury decides. I don't think it was bitter at all.
No, but it is so interesting. Again, because I bet there are lots of people out there who think that they were bitter. And I think they were just fair. And I think they recognize there's so much more to Ashley than I think I could even sit here and point out. Because there are things that Morgan thought that she did that really were Ashley, because she was just so good at being low key. And because of that, she didn't get the time to shine in the show.
True.
So if you're listening and you are a casual viewer of the show, there's so much more.
Think of it in terms of, I think the percentage analogy that I just made was actually quite perfect in illustrating, because like, if you think about it, the math is even. If you do say 60-40, Vince gets 100, he gets 60 flat, Ashley gets 20 made up from her 40. Because of her one competition, because that was an important competition that saved her life. She was going home if she lost that.
Both times, yeah.
Exactly, and that's why her competition wins equate their percentages.
Also, to remind anyone that there are 168 hours in a week, and the show is 3.5 hours per week. Can't show everything.
More of that is social. Significantly less of the game is competitions.
Yeah. And so, well, the vote happens. We already know what happens. And Ashley kicks
landslide.
Landslide.
Not quite, but basically. Technically.
Yeah. So she does not get a perfect 7-0 because 6 votes for Ashley and but 1 for Vince, and of course that one is from Morgan, who I do respect, the kind of sympathy vote at that point. And Morgan, I think she was always going to vote for Vince anyway, though I don't think Ashley's going to have hard feelings about it, especially because she's $750,000 richer. And already Ashley doesn't have room to be mad at her because she cost Morgan $750,000.
And I'm sure that Morgan is perfectly okay.
She's so fine
with their relationship is perfectly fine. Yep. Mackenzie.
LOL. And they announce it again in order of the jury members, so it's just like, or did they go in reverse order?
I think
they went in reverse order. So the first one was Vince, and it's like, and it's like Ashley.
Oh,
Ashley,
yes,
Ashley.
Because Vince was first. Vince's was the first vote.
Because then they didn't announce a Will or Rachel's, which is funny because they are the ones that we knew the entire time. Because they were the
first 2 that were out.
Yeah.
For jury.
So Ashley wins. Oh my gosh! Wow. Congratulations to Ashley. And here we are, an hour and a half into our episode. 2 weeks later. Yay, we got a winner! She,
Of
stunning.
effective coverage.
Stunning.
Mhm.
Did a fantastic job. Pretty much a landslide. Yeah. Like, she like, great majority. Wasn't even close in the slightest, which probably confused Vince a lot. I think Vince was very, very confused the whole time, and he's just leaving the house like, I didn't win. Do I have a girlfriend?
Vince got his life ruined by Big Brother.
A little bit. I do have some insight into postseason that I could share a little bit of, but we get Ashley as the winner by far. Julie announces all the names that voted for her. And the only thing that we have left in the episode is America's favorite player, which I think we talked about a little bit too, but to recap, winning by 65% of the vote of all of America voting between all 17 house guests. 65% of the vote went to Keanu. Congrats to the GOAT.
My GOAT.
Your GOAT. And the runners-up were Will and Rachel, which also didn't surprise me too much.
Yeah, not in the slightest. I mean, this was a very clear-cut cast in terms of personality. You could really tell who was going to be the favorites, and I'm of enjoyment. I mean, I can't say I'm biased, but I mean the top three. It was I'm satisfied with the top three.
Yeah,
for sure.
Me too. Too. I think Keanu was very good to watch, and I am honestly
he's the king of hype moments and aura. he was winning the competition when he was gonna go home every single for weeks straight. And I was like, oh, he just did it again. Okay, and he did it again.
America voted for aura points,
and they did, and that's why I love viewing Big Brother through the casual fans lens, just because it's fun. That's what the game is all about. This is supposed to be a fun game where we watch every week. We watch our little house guests scurry around this fake house in a parking lot in California. I mean, it's not supposed to be serious.
Yeah.
But it's also supposed to be fun.
And that's what we got.
And it's fun in every aspect, whether you want to watch the live feeds or if you want to watch the episodes only and keep yourself spoiler free and watch the edit. But no matter what, Big Brother is Big Brother, and I'm so grateful for this silly little show.
Me as well.
Do you have any overall season thoughts to share?
Before I mention those, I do want to say Rob has a podcast, Coded, and at 3 p.m. today, so at 81 minutes in time of recording, Taryn Armstrong is doing a deep dive with Keanu. He already did a 4-hour deep dive with Ashley the other day. So if you want even more information onto exactly what she did right and exactly what he did wrong, that's out there to watch. But I'm glad that they're doing that with Keanu, because he was such an entertaining player, despite the fact that he got pretty much all of his reads wrong. And a lot of live feeders were really not into Keanu winning America's favorite player, and they were really rooting for Rachel. And I do think that Keanu is deserving. I think he was so fun to watch. I want to see him back on TV. Honestly, a lot of people want him on The Challenge. Get him on The Challenge, perchance, if you want to, casting directors. And I would love to see him again. And Will, I want to see in some capacity.
I want to see Will.
Love Will.
He needs to do some bit. I want him in a bit.
Well,
a seasonal bit.
Yes.
From now on.
Hopefully. But he also he's a podcaster.
Yeah.
He does sports, so hopefully he'll do maybe some lifestyle, maybe with his wife Gwen.
Aww.
You know, and looking out for that
Chocolate
stuff.
drop.
And I do want to bring up the fact that for a long time it seems like Ava was a front runner for America's favorite player, and I think it's really interesting that she wasn't even in the top 3. I think that has a lot to do with her downfall after the White Locust twist.
Did nothing.
She didn't do anything. And I was watching an interview with I watched a whole bunch, but Ashley did an interview with Sharon Tharp, and she did another one with Hannah Chadha, who, if you don't know, is one of her closest friends of like her whole life, like, and Hannah, like, of Cookout fame. So they'd done a bunch of interviews, and Ashley said she was really surprised to find out how much of an integral character Ava was in the edit, because in the house they're like, oh, Ava's just asleep. That was it. But it was interesting that she wasn't up there. But so I have a little insight into like the house guests and where they are now, but your question was, what are my thoughts of the season?
Do you have any overall
thoughts?
Or I mean, honestly, I mean, if we can definitely talk about what you were going to say, because we can save those overall season thoughts for next week, because we only have 20 minutes left.
Yeah. You want to do that?
We can do that.
Listeners,
this is our plan. We're coming up with it live right here.
We are milking this for all we've got, essentially. We have this lovely 2-hour slot, and I don't want it to end. The fun like cannot be over. I can't believe it's done. Like, the other day was a year since BB26 ended, and I know it's because it was a year since I saw Palais Royale. Shout out Palais Royale. And I missed the finale for them because I love them. But Chelsea also posted a throwback, and I'm like, I can't believe there's a brand new cast of characters that are done. So let's keep milking this.
This game moves fast. This life moves fast.
Ugh, gross.
It's been I can't say that. I can't say that string of words without bursting out into laughter for reasons that I cannot.
But we will. Well, yeah. But important to note. So I'll keep up to date with what all the house guests are up to.
What have you to share at the moment? What
I can share is that Morgan is thriving. She's doing fantastic.
I'm sure she
is streaming. I watched her streams the other night. Really? She immediately after the show, she DJ'd emo night. Like, she was invited.
That. I did see that, actually.
I was so excited. I sent it to you because I'm like, she's one of us. Yes. She's one of us. And I mean, she requested Paramore for her Head of Household album. I expected no less. But she's like one of us. And she is, as we know, she's a gamer, she's a streamer. She just went right back on Twitch, and she's just living her life.
And I'm sure that she's like set too, because now she has a way larger audience.
I think her Instagram followers alone tripled.
I wonder what Vince is up to.
So Vince is not on social media at all. Like, his account still exists. He posted on finale night or the day after. His comments are like limited. There's next to nothing but the paparazzi. You know about the paparazzi?
I don't know about the paparazzi.
So Vince has been papped.
Oh, really?
At least twice.
Interesting.
He is not on social media.
Well, I would probably go ghost after getting embarrassed on national television for an entire summer.
The Sun has been photographing Vince. And the first time we saw it was with him and his person, Kelsey. And they were out and about, and they got coffee or whatever. They weren't like holding hands. They weren't doing any of that. There was another time where he's like at a house. He's just talking to some guy. And then there's another one where he's with like this older guy in a car. Older gentleman. I don't know this man. And it's so funny because a lot of people are theorizing that he called the paparazzi on himself. Like, that's what he's spending. Like, he's spending his money, his second place earnings on getting photographs. So he's like in the news, because I don't know the last time there's been paparazzi on a house guest, but also this season, like, that was a lot more controversial than I think there has been in a hot minute.
Have you seen anything from his girl or his ex?
I literally last night went to check his following and followers, and I don't see her. So I don't know if they're together or not. I don't know if we will know.
Settling out of court.
I don't know. What I can say is she's really pretty. And like, he fumbled if they're not together, and if they're not together, Kelsey, call me up. Anyway. And so he that's let us know in the comments below. Did he call the paparazzi on himself or not? I don't know. And then for Ashley, she's doing a ton of interviews. She's really bad at social media, but she's working to get people who will help her, like a PR team kind of thing. There were so many TikTok lives that I suppose I could recap next week, including the one where Ashley found out that Riley is a father live on TikTok. And there was an after party, and some people made it, some people couldn't. The final 3 and America's favorite could not attend the after parties because they were kept behind to do interviews. And so they kind of caught up with them later. Riley was there, and people were like, why is Riley there? So I'll collect all those thoughts, and I'll share them next week. But as far as the final 3 goes, Vince is nowhere to be found. Ashley's still doing interviews, kind of just still taking in the win.
Yeah.
And
she's got to do her victory lap.
Exactly. And she's doing the deep dives where, again, Taryn has like clips. He's got receipts. He's got all this stuff, where I think there's moments where Ashley realizes that she is so much better than she even realized that she was before. And then Morgan's live on Twitch. She's chilling at Model Morg, and she's thriving, and I can only hope for all these lovely brand deals heading her way. Keanu's doing a couple lives too, and I have no doubt that he will be on our TV screens. Yeah. And so for the rest of them, I will again I'll collect. I'll see what's going on out there. As of this morning, there's some question marks about Zach and Lauren. They're making TikToks together. So I'll look out for that. And Rachel is on like soap operas or whatever. Like she's like never stopping.
Yeah.
She's just going to keep going. And so
she needs to see her freaking family.
She does. So I will keep up with all the postseason tea. I'll package it up, put it in a nice, neat little bow. Segment. And we'll talk about
do a segment next week.
Even more next week. But as we approach the last 10-ish minutes of part 2 of our finale recap from the episode that aired 2 whole weeks ago.
The episode that aired 2 whole weeks ago that we spent an hour and a half talking about the last maybe 30 minutes of said episode.
we just couldn't wrap it all up that fast. There was just too much to unpack. But now we approach our thoughts. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go?
Well, I want to keep it as general as possible, I guess. And I guess we can continue whatever we don't really get to discussing next week. We can write down what we talk about just for documentation purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we can start with our cast.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that is a fair place to start.
Okay.
Easy thoughts. Who stood out to you the most? Who surprised you the most?
I think I think those are 2 different questions. I think that
no, definitely meant to say the second question, because who stood out, obviously one of the people who played well, but who are you most surprised to like? Slash any sort of interpretation you could have had on that question.
I mean, because I think the really interesting thing about this cast that we brought up throughout the weeks was that we did a really decent job at reading the cast from
yes,
preseason.
We did.
And week after week, with really the exception of Lauren, we really nailed who was staying and who was going at what time. And so for that, I guess I would say I'm impressed by Lauren.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
The same brain cell.
I was thinking the same exact thing.
Because she was one of my last picks, and naturally, even if she wasn't on your team, you didn't pick her. So I was impressed by her and her ability to stay for as long as she did. Especially with, like, she won a decent amount of comps, but she wasn't like the comp beast either. I think she did really well. I wish there was a little bit more, like, Like I wish she could stick by her decisions and didn't lean on other people as much. But who knows? Like that kept her around for a while. She won when she had to, that first of the double eviction, and I was sad to see her go, honestly. And other people are like, fine, whatever.
I think that in terms of Lauren, I would probably have to take the exact same answer as just stealing your answer real quick. Because,
I'll allow it.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it from a purely gameplay standpoint, she was entertaining. I think we had fun laughs, making jokes about her not being able to make a decision and stuff like that. I think that lended itself well. As much as she wasn't really doing much, it was fun to observe the fact that she would exhibit some goldfish-like tendencies.
Aww.
But like in the best way possible, because she was so like everybody loved her, and I think that fact alone goes to show like how good of a person she is, and that she can win too. That was another thing that when she started to win. It took a little while, but once she got into the jig of it, the jive, the jig and jive.
Shout out Lauren for the jig and
Shout
the
out.
jive. Well, she really shaped up to be a prominent figure of the season, and I wasn't expecting that necessarily at the beginning, and honestly I want to see more from her again. I think she's a cutie. I want to see what she's got going on. If she likes Zach, I want to see them together. I think that could be so cute. But overall, like the character, now I'd said it, the house guest too, another one that really surprised me, honestly, was Ashley, because I picked her right from the jump because I thought that her background would really help her in the game, and it proved to be true. But I was very worried those first couple weeks, especially the first one where she was on the block because of a shower, which is funny because that was debunked like a million years ago now. But that was an incredibly impressive game where she just acted like a totally different person of, different intellectual abilities and such. And so that was really interesting to watch her really dynamic gameplay throughout the entire time. And again, week after week, she's not winning, but she's winning. Like
she's doing something.
She is
in the background.
It was really impressive. And again, I've been watching for 10 plus years, but really since we started this show, I really locked in last season. I'm starting to remember strategy. I think that the strategy of Ashley, I'm going to remember for a very long time.
Yes. And I love the fact that she was able to emblematically save herself, because like, yeah, you got people who are winning, but it don't really mean much. Like sometimes they're just winning for resume. She's winning when it matters. Like the definition of winning when it matters is incredible. Both times that she won, on top of all of the social pieces that she was able to build up throughout the season, culminated perfectly. And if you don't necessarily like the fact that she didn't really win that many competitions and kind of just talked all season, I don't know, man.
I don't know what to tell you.
Don't make her win any less impressive. I mean, yeah, it could have been more impressive, but she still won.
I think that makes it even the most impressive.
That's what exactly. It was effective. It was efficient, and I mean, I hate even comparing it to Josh, because Josh was the result of a bitter jury, and obviously no disrespect to Josh, because he won. He still won too.
Yeah.
As much as I mean, you can discredit it all you like. He won, just like Ashley. Similar situations, but Ashley most definitely also had that resume, and that is important to know to remember.
She won because she deserved to win, and not because Vince didn't, though it had a hand in it. But yeah,
they were very poetically intertwined.
Yes.
Is how I would explain it.
Especially after his week 1 HOH and putting her on the block.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I worried halfway through the season because I said pretty much the entire time I feel like these house guests are doing week 1 gameplay the entire time.
I like that. I like that style. It feels very like guerrilla. It feels very hands-on and in the moment, on the fly, and I like that because when you can just predict the outcome very easily, it makes the game more stale. When there's a big alliance, we've talked about this all season.
Yeah.
Of how much we love the fact that there was no big alliance, because you can predict the trajectory of the game based off of the big alliance, at least on a week-to-week basis, very accurately, because if you have the HOH, you know who's in power, you know what resources they have to make it their agenda work every week. And I think the week 1 style gameplay every week lends itself well to TV.
Yes.
A lot.
I kind of felt like the entire season there were people who were just shook by the fact that they were in the house. And that is what made this season feel very different from others. And I think the biggest point that you made is, there wasn't a dominant giant alliance, which made it feel different. But it was cool because of that. And I feel like I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, especially up until the final seconds, not even knowing for sure who was winning, like, America's favorite. So I think as we wrap up the episode, my overall thoughts, fantastic season.
Extremely positive.
Fantastic season. Especially considering I didn't have high hopes for a good majority of the cast. Like, there were so many people that, I mean, really, for lack of better words, and this is, again, on them as characters and not as human beings, kind of like duds. Like, oh, it's just a whatever cast. Like, I didn't get a lot out of their preseason interviews. And I think this was a fantastic season.
1000%. I was gonna say, which one did you prefer between this season and last season? But I think we should save that question.
I think,
because we can discuss that in great detail, I would think. And, well, I would know. And I can promise you that discussion will be coming in the next week as we approach rapidly the end of the 2-hour mark.
Yes. We will marinate on answer. And if you're listening, thank you so much for tuning in. Like, this whole season, if you just joined us, if you want to let us know your thoughts, we do have an Instagram at thediaryroom.wmsc, where you could always let us know what we could talk about next week as well. Also, shout out to another episode of The Amazing Race is on tonight. Tonight being Wednesday night, with all Big Brother players. I got to catch up. I don't think Chris has started. We'll talk about it another time.
In the trenches.
And it's an interesting season, so we'll bring it up. But next week, you could tune in where we're going to talk all things post BB27, where the house guests are now. Even more final thoughts on the season, as we will have 3 weeks to marinate and reflect. This has been the Diary Room WMSC on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I have been your host, Emol, joined with my host,
just Chris.
And thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week. And I played the theme music too late. Enjoy. Bye.